Hello, students. Welcome to this lecture on the course Principles of Political Science. Today's lecture on interdisciplinary approach, political science and history. In the previous lecture, we explored the subdisciplines of political science and understood how the subject has expanded its scope over time. Today, we move forward and examine a concept central to modern academic study, the interdisciplinary approach. This lecture focuses specifically on the relationship between political science and history. These two subjects have been closely linked for centuries centuries, and understanding this connection is essential for any student of political science. Here is our outline for today. We'll begin with the meaning of the interdisciplinary approach and why political science connects with other disciplines. It will influence how we will then define history and discuss why historic context matters. We will examine how the two disciplines influence each other and discuss a well-known statement that captures this relationship. We will study examples from India and the world, the French Revolution, the Indian freedom movement, and the making of the Indian Constitution. We'll compare the two disciplines to highlight their differences. Finally, we will discuss the limitations of the relationship and its contemporary relevance for policy making and governance today. Students are encouraged to take notes and as we build our understanding section by section. The word interdisciplinary combines inter meaning between and disciplinary referring to an academic subject. Together, it describes an approach with two or more disciplines working together to understand a topic or an issue more completely. This approach is necessary because human society is too complex to be explained by any single phenomenon or any single field of study. In political science, the interdisciplinary approach means borrowing ideas, methods, and framework from history, sociology, economics, psychology, and law. This enriches political analysis and makes it more realistic and grounded. This approach became especially important in the 20th century. The behavioralist revolution of 1950s and 60s, led by scholars like Easton and Gabriel Almond, emphasized drawing from psychology and sociology to study political behavior and more scientifically. This marked a turning point in how political science defined itself. In India, the work of B.R. Ambedkar illustrated interdisciplinary thinking in its finest. He combined deep knowledge of Indian history and social structures with legal expertise in political theory to design the constitution. He could not have achieved this using only one discipline. This example shows that the interdisciplinary approach is not merely an academic concept. It is a practical necessity for addressing real political challenges effectively. Political science deal with the complex topics like state, power, governance, public policy, political behavior, and international relations. These topics are deeply embedded in social, economic, cultural, historical realities. This is precisely why political science must connect with other disciplines. First, its subject matter demands it. To understand democracy, we must know its historical origins in ancient Greece and its philosophical roots in Enlightenment thought and its social conditions as explored in sociology. Second, its methods are shared with other disciplines like surveys, case studies, comparative analysis, and institutional study, which are used in sociology, economics, and history alike. Sharing these methods together strengthens the research in the discipline of political science. Third, real-world political problems are never purely political. Poverty, war, terrorism, climate, environmental degradation requires inputs from economics, sociology, and law to be properly understood and addressed. Political science draws on these fields to offer comprehensive solutions. Fourth, the expanding scope of political science makes interdisciplinary connection necessary. From the study of the state, It has grown to include comparative politics, international relations, and public administration. Each subfield depends on at least one other discipline. Therefore, connection with other disciplines is not a weakness of political science. Rather, it is the greatest strength, making the subject more applicable and socially relevant. In our previous lecture, we studied sub-disciplines of political science such as political theory, comparative politics, IR, public administration, and political sociology, political economy, etc. Today's discussion builds directly on that foundation because each subdiscipline is already relies on insights from other subjects. Political theory draws from philosophy, ethics, and history to develop their ideas about justice, liberty, and rights. Thinkers like John Locke, Rousseau cannot be understood without knowing their historical and philosophical context. Comparative politics depends on sociology and history to explain why some countries become democratic while others remain authoritative. Public administration borrows from management, economics, and law to understand effective governance. International relations uses economics, geography, and history to analyze global diplomacy and conflicts, war and peace. Political sociology uses sociology and anthropology to understand how social groups shape political systems. In this way, the subdisciplines of political science are already interdisciplinary in nature in practice. Today's lecture deepens this understanding by focusing on one of the oldest and most important of these relationships, the link between political science and history. This connection is foundational because history provides the raw material of raw material of political experience, while political science provides the analytical tools to interpret it. Together, they form the backbone of the serious social science education and undergraduate, especially for undergraduate students. Before exploring the relationship between political science and history, we must understand what history means as a discipline. As its simplest, history is the systematic study of past events involving human beings and human societies. It records, describes, and explains what happened in the past and why it happened. The word history comes from the Greek word historia, meaning inquiry. Herodotus is called the father of history for producing one of the earliest systematic accounts of past events. Thucydides later brought a more analytical and critical method to, historical writings. History covers all aspects of human civilization, political events, war, revolution, social change, economic transformation, and cultural developments. It is broadly classified into political history, economic history, and social history and cultural history. For students of political science, political history is most relevant. It focuses on the rise and fall of states, development of governments, origins of constitutions, wars and treaties, and the careers of political leaders. History does not merely record events. It also explains the causes and consequences behind every past event. This explanatory function makes history extremely valuable for political science. It answers a fundamental question: how did our current political institutions and practices came into being? One of the most important contributions of history to political science is the provision of context. To fully understand why political events, institutions, or ideas, we must know the historical context in which it developed. Without this context, political analysis remains shallow and incomplete. Historical context means the specific conditions, social, economic, political, and cultural, that existed when a particular event occurred, or when a political institution was created, or when a particular political theory or idea emerged. To understand why India adopted a parliamentary system after independence in 1947, we need historical context, the experience of British colonial rule, the structure of the Indian National Congress, the familiarity of Indian leaders with the Westminster model, and the debates within the Constituent Assembly. Without this history, the choice appears arbitrary. With it, the choice becomes entirely logical. Similarly, to understand the why United States adopted a presidential system with a strong separation of power, we must know the context of American Revolution of 1776, the colonial fear of centralized authority, and the influence of Enlightenment thinkers like Montesquieu on the American founding fathers, and the influence of individualists like John Locke. Historical context transforming political analysis from surface description into deep and meaningful explanation. This is why no political scientist can afford to ignore history. The most fundamental argument for the relationship between political science and history is simple. Politics itself is shaped by historical events, political institutions, constitution, laws, ideologies, and forms of governments do not appear from nowhere. They are products of specific historical processes and transformations. Consider how wars shaped political systems. The First World War caused the collapse of Austro-Hungarian, and Russian empires, giving rise to new nation-states across Europe and the Middle East. It transformed Tsarist Russia to a communist Russia after a Bolshevik Revolution. The Second World War led to the United Nations and the decolonization of Asia and Africa. Without knowing this history, the structure of current international relations is incomprehensible. In India's case, our political system was directly shaped by colonial history. British rule introduced new administrative structures, legal systems, and institutions. The independence movement challenged these and demanded self-governance or self-rule. The partition of 1947 left a deep mark on India's foreign policy towards Pakistan. The partition of India in 1947 has characterized the history, the experience of partition has always characterized the Indo-Pak relationship, and we need to know the history of partition. Thus, to understand why a political system works as it does, we must trace its historical origins. The present is always a product of the past. A political science that ignores history therefore lacks depth. History is not background, it is the foundation on which political analysis rests, and therefore it is popularly called that history contains the roots of today's political science. And today's political science contains the content for tomorrow's history. History provides the essential background for political analysis. When political scientists study a particular system, institution, or event, they first need to understand its historical background. Without this, political analysis lacks the accuracy and depth it requires to be truly useful. Think of history as the soil in which political institutions grow. Just as a plant cannot be fully understood without knowing the soil that produced it, a political institution cannot be understood without the historical conditions that shaped it. To analyze the Indian federalism, the division of power between center and state, we need a historical background. The British colonial system was highly centralized. The Constitution's framers, aware of the history and concerned about unity and after partition, created a quasi-federal structure. We were also having the past experience of a strong federalism in America and say other countries. The decision makes full sense only with its historical background. Similarly, to analyze the caste system's impact on Indian democracy, we must understand caste as a social institution, its colonial codification, and post-independence attempts at reform through constitutional reservations and affirmative action policies. History acts as a reference library to political science. Every time a political scientist asks, why does this institution exist, or why does this policy take this form, history provides the answer. There is a famous and widely cited statement in the study of political science: history without political science is blind, and political science without history is meaningless. This captures the mutual dependence of both disciplines with remarkable clarity and precision. The first part, history without political science is blind, means that if historians only collect and record facts about the past without using political concepts like power, authority, and legitimacy, their work remains incomplete. History becomes a collection of data, dates, and events without understanding of why things happen. Political science gave history the analytical tools needed to interpret the past meaningfully. The second part, political science without history is meaningless, means that if political scientists analyze institutions without knowing their historical background, their analysis float without foundation. Theories may appear elegant but will not connect with reality. History provides political science with its raw material, the actual record of how states, governments, constitution, and political ideas developed over time. Together, this statement tells us that neither discipline is complete alone. They are genuinely complementary when they work together. The result is a richer, more accurate, and more useful understanding of both past and present. One of the most important ways history helps political science is by documenting how the state and political institutions evolved over time. Political science is deeply interested in the state, its origin, nature, and functions. To understand the modern state, we must trace its historical development carefully. Early humans lived without formal governments. Over time, larger social units emerged: tribes, chiefdoms, city-states, empires, and eventually the modern nation-states. History records this entire evolutionary process in detail and chronologically. The modern nation-state is generally traced to the Treaty of Westphalia in 1648, which established the principles of state sovereignty and non-interference in internal affairs. The historical event remains foundational for international relations even today. In India, the evolution of political institutions passed through several historical phases. Ancient India had republics called Ganas and Sanghas, forms of collective governance documented in Kautilya's Arthashastra. The Mughal Empire introduced centralized administration. British colonialism added the Indian civil services, parliamentary practices, and codified legal systems. Each phase left a legacy that independent India inherited, reformed, and built upon carefully. Without this historical knowledge, explaining why Indian institutions look the way they do so is impossible. History is the map that guides us through the evolution of the modern state. History also helps political science by documenting how political ideas and ideologies developed over time. Concepts like democracy, rights, sovereignty, and nationalism did not emerge suddenly. They evolved gradually over centuries, shaped by specific historical events and intellectual movements. Democracy originated in ancient Athens around the 5th century BC. It was largely set aside during medieval period, dominated by monarchy and religious authority. The concept revived during the Enlightenment in the 17th century and 18th centuries, influencing the American and French revolutions. It continued to evolve through the 19th century, 19th and 20th centuries, spreading to Asia and Africa through decolonization. The historical journey is essential to understand what democracy means today. In India, nationalism developed during the colonial period through a series of historical events. The revolt of 1857 was the first major assertion of resistance. The partition of Bengal in 1905 sparked mass political political reaction, the non-cooperation movement of 1920s, the civil disobedience movement of 1930, and the Quit India movement of 1942, each deepened Indian national consciousness. Without understanding or without knowing the history, Indian political thought cannot be properly understood. History thus provides political science with the evolutionary story of its most important concepts. It transforms political science from theory into live historical reality. A third major contribution of history to political science is the record it provides of past political systems and the lessons they offer. History documents a vast range of governance experiments, some successful, some failed, some many catastrophic. Political science uses the record to identify patterns, draws conclusions, and make better recommendations for governance today. The rise and fall of empires offer powerful lessons about the limits of political power. The Roman Empire, the Mongol Empire, and the Soviet Union all arose to great strengths and eventually collapsed. Political scientists study these cases to identify recurring causes of military overextension, economic management, corruption, and failure to adapt. These lessons directly inform how modern states avoid similar failures. In India, the Mauryan Empire under Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka provides insights into governing a large, diverse state. The Arthashastra of Kautilya, written in the 4th century BCE, is one of the world's oldest treatises on statecraft, covering taxation, diplomacy, administration, and security. Many of its principles remain relevant in modern governance discussions. More recently, the failure of authoritarian regimes in the 20th century, Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, and Stalinist Soviet Union, has offered essential lessons about unchecked power, civil liberties, and democratic accountability. The relationship between political science and history is not one directional. While history provides political science with content, with the context and raw material, or the content, political science helps history by offering analytical tools and frameworks that reveal the deeper meaning of events. Without these tools, history risks remaining only a narrative, a story of what happened, without explaining why. Political science contributes key concepts: power, authority, legitimacy, sovereignty, and ideology that historians use to interpret events with greater depth and precision. The concept of power helps historians analyze why the British Empire could colonize large part of Asia and Africa in 19th century. Military superiority alone is insufficient. Economic domination, cultural persuasion, and institutional control were equally important. All dimensions of power that political science identifies precisely. The concept of legitimacy helps historians explain why some regimes survive for decades and others collapse suddenly. A government may possess military strength but lack legitimacy, the belief among citizens that its authority is rightful. This distinction explains revolutions and political transitions more accurately. The concept of ideology helps historians interpret political movements. Political science thus transforms history from description into rigorous analysis. In this way, political science gives history its analytical depth and power. Political science makes a second major contribution to history by providing a systematic framework for studying power, authority, and governance, three concepts at the heart of all political history. Power refers to the ability of one actor, or person, group, or institution to influence or control others' behavior. Understanding power relations is fundamental to historical analysis. Who made decisions, whose interests were served, and whose voices were excluded? Political science supplies the vocabulary needed for these crucial questions. Authority refers to power recognized as legitimate, accepted as rightful by those subject to it. Max Weber identified three bases of authority: Traditional authority rooted in custom, legal rational authority based on established rules, and charismatic authority derived from personal qualities. These categories help historians explain why certain rulers command loyalty and others do not. They faced rebellion. Governance refers to the processes and institutions through which societies make collective decisions. Political science helps historians compare different governance systems and assess what made some more stable and effective than others. In the Indian context, analyzing the Mughal Empire through political science concepts reveals how it governed a vast, diverse territory using military strength, hierarchical administration, and cultural accommodation of regional traditions. The French Revolution of 1789 powerfully, illustrates the interdisciplinary relationship between political science and history. This landmark event is studied in both disciplines and demonstrates how the two subjects depend on each other for complete understanding. From a historical perspective, the revolution was triggered by multiple factors: fiscal crisis in French state, widespread poverty among common people, the weakening of or the weaknesses of King Louis XVI's monarchy, and the growing influence of Enlightenment ideas about liberty and equality. Understanding these historical causes explain why the revolution occurred when it did and how it unfolded. From a political science perspective, the French Revolution is a defining movement in the development of modern democratic ideas. It gave the world the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity, foundational values of liberal democracy globally. It demonstrated popular sovereignty, the principles that political authority derives from the people, not from hereditary rulers. It also showed the dangers of unchecked revolutionary powers when the movement descended into the Treaty of 1793 to 1794 under Robespierre. For political science students, the revolution teaches lessons about conditions that trigger revolutions, the role of ideology in mass mobilization, and the challenges of building stable institutions after revolutionary change. The Indian freedom movement, spanning from 1857 to 1947, is an outstanding example of how political science and history must work together for complete understanding. This movement is among the most significant political events in Indian and world history. From a historical perspective, the movement passed through several phases. The revolt of 1857 was the first major uprising against British rule. The Indian National Congress, founded in 1885, began with moderate demands. The radical phase under Bal Gangadhar Tilak demanded Swaraj as an inalienable right. Mahatma Gandhi transformed the movement after 1920 through non-violent, mass resistance, satyagrah. The Quit India movement of 1942 made the final decisive push for immediate independence. From a political science perspective, this movement raises fundamental questions about power, resistance, and organization. How did Gandhi use a moral authority to challenge British military and political power? How did the Congress build a mass political organization across an extraordinarily vast and diverse country? How did competing ideologies, liberal, socialist, and communist, interact within a single movement? History provides the narrative and factual record of the freedom movement. Political science provides the analytical framework for understanding its strategies, power, dynamics, and lasting significance. The making of the Indian Constitution between 1946 and 1949 is perhaps the finest Indian example of the interdisciplinary relationship between political science and history. Understanding this process requires both disciplines simultaneously. From a historical perspective, the Constituent Assembly was formed in 1946 under the Cabinet Mission Plan. After independence on August 15, 1947, it became fully sovereign. The Assembly met across 11 sessions over nearly 3 years, debating every clause with remarkable, thoroughness. The Constitution was adopted on November 26, 1949, and came into force on January 26, 1950, Republic Day. The historical context is crucial. Assembly members carried the experience of colonial rule, the trauma of partition, the imperative of national unity, and the responsibilities of representing one of the world's most diverse populations. These historical realities directly shape their constitutional choices. From a political science perspective, the Constitution embodies significant decisions, a parliamentary rather than presidential government, quasi-federal structure with a strong center, universal adult franchise, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, and reservation for the marginalized communities. Each choice reflects specific political values responding to specific historical challenges. B.R. Ambedkar, who chaired the drafting committee, combined historical knowledge with rigorous political analysis. Although political science and history are closely related, they are distinct disciplines with different orientations, methods, and purposes. Understanding these differences clarifies what each discipline uniquely contributes to knowledge and analysis. The most fundamental difference is in time orientation. History focuses on the past, recordings, describing and explaining events that have already occurred. Political science is concerned with the present and future as well. It uses historical knowledge but applies it to current political system and future policy recommendations. The second difference is in approach. History is largely descriptive and narrative. It tells the story of what happened. Political science is analytical and prescriptive. It explains why things happen and recommends what should be done. A historian might describe how India's emergency of 1975-77 was imposed. A political scientist would analyze its causes, evaluate its impact on democratic institutions, and draw lessons for prevention. The third difference relates to methods. Historians rely primarily on primary sources, documents, manuscripts, and artifacts from the past. Political scientists use a broader toolkit, including statistical analysis, surveys, interviews, and comparative case methods. The fourth difference is about, the scope. History studies all dimensions of human experience: economic, social, cultural, and political, while political science studies various dimensions related to politics and, of course, political science. While the relationship between political science and history is deeply valuable, it also has important limitations. Acknowledging these limitations help students use the interdisciplinary approach more carefully and critically. The first limitation is the risk of oversimplification. While political scientists use historical events as evidence for their theories, they sometimes reduce complex historical realities, to fit a particular analytical framework. This can distort both the historical record and the political arguments built upon it. The second limitation is anachronism, judging past events using concepts and values from a later period. Political scientists must avoid imposing modern political ideas on historical situations where such concepts did not exist. Evaluating medieval kingdoms by modern democratic standards, for example, would be anachronistic and misleading. Third limitation is methodological tension. Historians value depth, particularly particularity and context, understanding each event within its unique circumstances. Political scientists values generalization, finding patterns across multiple cases. The different priorities sometimes create disagreements within the two disciplines. Despite these limitations, the contemporary relevance of this relationship remains undeniable. We have now completed lecture 6. Let us review the key concepts. We began by understanding that the interdisciplinary approach means drawing knowledge from multiple disciplines to understand a topic more completely. We saw why political science must connect with the other subjects and how this builds naturally on the subdisciplines studied in our previous lecture. We defined history as the systematic study of past events and explored why historical context is essential for political analysis. We examined the deep relationship between both disciplines, how historical events shape politics and how political concepts help us understand history more clearly and meaningfully. We discussed the famous statement, history without political science is blind and political science without history is meaningless, and saw through examples exactly why this is true. We studied 3 major examples: French Revolution, which gave the world the principles of democracy; the Indian freedom movement, which achieved independence through organized political strategy; and the making of the Indian Constitution, which combined historical awareness with political wisdom. We compared both disciplines and noted their differences in time, orientation, method, approach, and scope. Thank you.